Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the BSR MX5 Pro Series here at Barcelona, the historic layout. I'm Austin. I am joined by JJ Tubb. Broadcast, graphics, and cameras are brought to you by Sammy. JJ, we're in Spain. How you feeling about this track? How do you feel about today?
I'm feeling good as always, man. Barcelona's a track that I don't actually have too much experience with. I've got to admit, I was waiting for the TCR cars to come here, so I'm going to use tonight as a bit of a taster, see what I'm looking forward to coming in the forward weeks. What about you? What's your experience here?
Oh my goodness, my experience has just been mainly on the F1 side and a bit of MotoGP side. This track has just been absolutely fantastic and imprinted in my memory. This layout, though, I was one when the last time that they used this layout. We're on the Circa 95 Historica, so it's a bit different for all you F1 fans, or the layout that's actually good according to F1 fans.
I'm not gonna lie, I do quite like this. I forget which one they use for MotoGP now.
I believe it's this one.
Yeah, because I think they definitely don't do the last chicane. I think what's currently like the second last one was like 14, 15. I don't know about the complex before that, because I know when they redesigned it, or when Tilt redesigned it, they fiddled around with a bunch of things. I think MotoGP have like moved around with a few different things to try. But the racing here for MotoGP at the very least is great, and F1 always comes here. So yeah, I'm excited to see what our MX5 boys can do.
It's going to be a lot of close racing, definitely. It's going to be a draft battle, as we can see a lot of people qualifying still in the draft. It's a wide track. It's a very long track. It's almost 2 minutes of lap time, so that's going to give us about 7 laps, I believe, of great racing in all 4 of our races today. But expect very close racing and very deep dives heading into these deep braking zones, and these fast S's are going to prove a bit challenging.
Yeah, and I think that's what one of the kind of the charm of this track is. You've got quite a few different areas where you can get a good run on someone into a heavy braking zone, but then you've got the nice sweepers where, okay, maybe you're not so hot on the brakes. If you can hold it out wide and keep it sort of on the outside through a corner, you've got a chance of overtaking there too.
Setups are going to be very, very important. As we look at the qualifying times currently in our TV stand, the top 5 are all within a second of each other, but that is just a big gap from 3rd to 4th.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that, like in modern Formula 1 as well, you get the same thing. Top drivers separated by not too much, and then as we go down the grid, you start to see the gap spread out.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're all in the same car.
No, some of them have grippacks.exe enabled. I'm sure of it.
No, they don't. But we have 2 Excite cars in the top 3, and Jason Cooper for Swift Cooper Esports currently sitting in 2nd place as people are finishing out their qualifying laps. I believe that is Rob Graham and Steve Cooley, both out on track, and we can see this better ending to Barcelona than the Royal Chicane. And honestly, I was doing a few laps around here. This final corner, you do have to lift off for, so it's not a straight shot on the gas.
Okay, so it's a bit like last corner at, what is it, Lime Rock Park? Is it Lime Rock you lift slightly?
Lime Rock, you lift, you can tap the brakes, you can drift it. Yeah, Lime Rock.
Yeah, Lime Rock, that's the one. Also, the one thing I'm looking at for the qualifying times, leader of the AM class, Ben Sharp, P9 overall. Next following AM class place is P19.
Actually, P12.
P12? Wait, hang on.
Matthew Emery hopped up into there on P12.
I've got him, I think my overlay might be broken. I can see him as a pro driver.
I believe I've gone colorblind.
Do we need to see an optician? It's right. There was a green dot next to it, so I see where you were coming from with that. I get the confusion, but yeah,
My bad.
Hardy and that's all right. Hardy and P19. So Sharp's got 10 whole freaking places on 2nd place. So are we going to see him contesting for a top 5 overall?
Oh, he might. He can get up there. I was pretty sure in the amateur class he was just absolutely dominating in that race yesterday. So keep an eye out for Ben Sharp, but like we always say, you never know what's actually going to happen in this race series, because whenever we try to predict something, it usually doesn't happen. So you can have a very fast qualifying time, but that draft is going to be so so huge. But I say the 3 best are going to be your top 3, Ashton, Cooper, and Beard. If they start pulling away from the pack in this first race, that is probably what's going to happen. But in all 3 of these other races, we won't know. But here's your top 20. Jack Ashton takes pole, followed by Jason Cooper, Ashley Beard, Adam McNally, Adam Delmont, Steve Hefford, Dave Hampson, Alex Esri, Ben Sharp, Nick McKieran, Jamie Ayers, Matthew Emery, James McRitchie, Niels Carlson, Cesar Rizzo, Peter Van Gool, Kip Stevens, Stuart Dick, Carl Hardy, Luke Cooper, Rob Graham, Carl Jacqueline, Andy Maxwell, and Jerome Ursum, your top 24. We're going to scroll through the rest of the grid right now as everyone is lining up and getting ready to go racing here at Barcelona to Catalunya.
What corner are you looking forward to? I'm gonna be a basic guy and go for T1.
You know, sometimes you and I think alike. I'm gonna say T1.
I mean, I'm gonna throw the last. I feel like the last loop in right is gonna be an interesting point later on in the race, but straight off the bat, I'm expecting some hot action here.
I'd say turn 6 is going to provide a lot of unexpected action. It's that sweeping left and then right. We'll see it when it comes around. Count it with us as it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away they go! And we're racing for the BSR MX5 Pro Series here at Barcelona.
Ashton gets a great start there, cutting to the inside as we're going into T1, but he's got to be careful of the outside line here. As you get that sort of chicane complex coming up, you've got to protect yourself pretty well.
Yeah, they're going 3 wide down the front straight, heading into turn 1. Who's going to last late breakers? Jason Cooper has the best line, because the best line is actually the outside line, and he's going to get the whole shot right there. And Jason Cooper takes P1, and we already have a big crash at the end. That's the Tyler Maxson is Tyler Maxson's crash. That is also Steven Baxter. Tyler Maxson was slow coming into turn 1. I believe he was involved in an incident. I don't see any damage on his car. Either he was starting for the pits. He didn't tell me any of his plans. As oh no, that's Dave Hampson up onto the inside of turn 4.
That's a horrible place to try and rejoin as well. Like you can't really see anything. You just got to hope. We'll just sit there watching those seconds tick by on the F3 relative box as we're looking at Steve Ayres battling for 6th place or 8th place for these two here.
Jamie Ayres up in 9th place as they head into turn 6 and 7. Everyone making their nice and clean out single file through there. But this is almost a flat out turn as they're going 2 wide. Ooh! Adam Delmont and Steve Hefford almost coming into each other as they're heading down into not the heaviest braking zone on the circuit. They're going the wide loop around the circuit to Barcelona side, not the straight through like Formula 1 does.
Or cones.
Cones life matter. Come on.
Yeah, that's the main difference between the Formula 1 track and well, one of the 2 differences between the Formula 1 race and the layout we run here. As we're having a look at Jason Cooper taking a very aggressive line through there.
Killed more cars. Oh, we got a car sideways in the middle of the track. That is Carlson and
Oh no! I was gonna say
was a big. We have a car upside down. We have a car upside down. Okay, Carl Hardy was upside down. He's back normal, but that is utter chaos happening at the back of this field. We're definitely going to be needing a replay on that. Niels Carlson gets sideways. Peter Van Gool's right behind him, and Peter Van Gool dumps him.
Yeah, he got spun around, and there's a... I didn't see who it was. There's a car that managed to just avoid, Dick. And then... Yeah.
That was Stuart Dick getting involved. Rob Graham involved. Carl Hardy went flipping over. Cars just all over the track. Be glad this wasn't an official series. That would have been about 12x right there.
Yeah, 12x in one instant. I think Carl Hardy tried to avoid the stationary car, and then same thing that we saw last week. Rear end got loose. That's it. Car's gone. You can't see that.
Yeah, and last week at that weird Silverstone track, it's kind of refreshing to be at a full circuit.
Yeah, it's nice to be at a track that feels complete, like feels like it's. Oh, hello. A little bit of the old argy-bargy between Hendy there.
Yeah, Hendy in 29th spot. That's not a spot where you usually see him being a pro driver and all. I believe he was he involved in that crash, or was he one of the guys that just went off track to avoid it?
Well, at the moment he's looks like he qualified relatively low down. He started 13 places behind where he is at the moment. So I think he's one of the ones who probably didn't qualify so well. He might have had a penalty from the previous week, I'm not entirely sure. But he's made some great gains. Probably benefited a lot from that accident, actually.
Well, he's currently sitting 4 spots down from where he qualified. As we look ahead...
I was looking at Mikey Key, that was it.
Nice. Phil Regan, though, he's up 13 spots. I stand corrected, 12 spots from where he qualified. So he's looking pretty good. Our biggest mover of the race, actually, is Mikey Key, Phil Regan, and Ralph Gillingham. That orange and white car in front of us.
Yeah, we're all gaining 12 spots each, or 12, 13. Mikey Key up to 13 at the moment, according to my live timing screaming. As we're looking at a very close 2-wide race going down on the home stretch between Anthony Downs and who's that racing alongside him? Can't see here.
That is Mikey Key.
Mikey Key, there we go.
Mikey Key up the inside. He gets 1. Can he get 2? He's got onto the curb and he's gone into the side of that year 1 car, but he's kept it going straight. That was Phil Regan going very wide, letting his teammate pass of Adrian Hendy. But he's going to have a bit of damage from that. That was a hard hit onto the side. And a big dive by Mikey Key, but he's up 15 spots.
Yeah, I'm just having a look through the field as we're going at the moment. Ben Sharp seems to have gained 2 positions on the start, which, you know, for an M-class driver, that's still respectable. Gaining 2 positions in, what, 2 laps? 2
yes.
Laps? There we go.
It's a long lap.
Yeah, I think, so if you think about it here, this is probably more close to what we were looking at with Monza. Sort of track lap length. I don't know if that's a real word, I'm going with it. Lap track length.
Oh, we got a crash in turn 6 and 7. That is David Ayers caught up in there. And Niels Carlston. Might need a replay to see what's happened, but we have 3 dots going very slowly. So David Ayers a 666 car, and oh, that's a hit.
Yeah.
That's a punt going in there. Car going wide. He's on the racing line. Car's darting it all over the place to avoid him.
I'll tell you what, that was well held by him. Good situational awareness to not slam on the brakes in that scenario and let the car roll off of the apex onto the curb and then move out when it's clear.
Sharp having a drag race with Jamie Ayers as Jamie goes up the inside into turn 1 to take P7. As this leading group has all stayed pretty much together. Sure, there's a small pocket between 5th and 6th place, but the top 5 pretty much locked in with each other, which is what we saw at Twin Ring Motegi and Monza, just without the 4-wide racing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we'll be blessed with the 4-5 wide that we were seeing at Monza.
The track is wide enough. The track's wide enough.
It's wide enough to try, that's for sure. But so having a look through these boys here, I just don't think with this track, I don't think Ashton's going to be able to get the drive to pull away. I think he's going to be fighting for this win the whole way through the race.
Yeah, with these long straights and long sweeping corners and the draft that the MX-5s get, it's so easy to just have massive group fight, and which I believe Jason Cooper is hunting down Jack Ashton right now. I expect him to try and make a move going up the inside or on the straight. Also, don't count out Ashley Beard in 3rd place. Jack Ashton's teammate. And, oh, late on the brakes goes Cooper. Almost goes into the back of Ashton as Beard gets a little bit loose. Here comes Cooper. Cooper up the inside. Now they're going to switch onto the outside turn. Cooper's going to be on the outside. Cooper's going wide, a little bit of back end loose, but Cooper on the switchback. Can he get Ashton, Jack Ashton, and Cooper? Cooper up onto the inside, kills a few cones, and that's a P1 advantage for Jason Cooper heading into the final corner.
Yeah, I did a bit of a Ricciardo-esque move there. You throw it in without any real commitment, see if you can get the guy to secede his line or to sort of betray his own line, and then if he does decide to give the room, you just go for it and lick the stamp.
Yeah, the thing is that's actually disastrous for Jason Cooper, because look at this 4 Excite cars in a train as they head side by side into turn 1. As that is a very nice car placement by Jack Ashton as he retakes the lead.
I don't think he could have done that millimeter perfect anymore if he tried. That was really good placement there, but it doesn't mean he's going to run away with it. He's still got a very angry Cooper behind him.
Yeah, Cooper is laser focused right now as we're looking at Steve Hefford going a little bit wide outside of turn 4.
Turn 4. It gets confusing, don't worry about it. I'm having a look back through the field. It still looks like some of the mid-pack are having trouble making progress. Sort of way through the past few weeks, around about this time, sort of 2/3 into the race, you'll have seen a couple of drivers really start to pounce up. You know, it wasn't uncommon for us to see drivers making 20, 30 positions up as we take a look at Joe McDonald rejoining the track after a little holiday excursion to the beach.
Yeah, he's been having a very tough race. His car is still damaged from that earlier on incident, as he's just trying to forget this race and hope for a better fate in the next 3. As Martin Sampson's turned around, lights up the rears and gets turned right side up again. Once again, that's turn 6 and 7, the hardest corners on this course.
Yeah, and I mean, the interesting thing about the reverse grid that we do later on, for those of us joining for the first time, at the end of every race, we roll a wheel of fortune or misfortune, depending on your... Oh, hang on a minute, I'm going to shut up. What was that?
That's Tyler Maxson going extremely off track. I believe he just got a slowdown penalty for that inside line attempt at a inside move. Takes it 4 wide on the inside of Mikey Key. Steve Cooley also in there as, oh man, that's just trying to fight for room. Mikey Key didn't give him any room up onto the inside. As Tyler unfortunately gets hit with a slowdown penalty, but as a racing driver, you try to find the limits of the track as much as you can, and well, he found them.
I was going to say, he knows exactly where they are now. Yeah, like looking through, I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. It can't have been that important as we rejoin Jack Ashton back in the lead. And notice, there is no gap. He's still having to defend. Yeah,
with just 4 minutes remaining, that's around 2 laps now between Ashton and Cooper. Who's going to have the advantage here? Also, I want to point out the Excite team all in the top 5. 4 of them are in there. Ashley Beard, Adam McNally, and Adam Delmont. All the Excite cars all around Jason Cooper. So, is there going to be some team tactics here for Excite?
Well, I mean, looking at this, actually, if you look at the top 5, every single one of them is currently in the position they qualified in. And that's not to say that they haven't changed and jostled positions throughout the beginning of the race. This whole 12 minutes, they've been chopping and changing, but right now they've gone back exactly to how they qualified. The only thing that Cooper needs to worry about is he's got 3 Excite cars all behind him, all trying to do the exact same thing, which is push him off, at least to distract him so Ashton can run away with the win.
I 100% know that Ashton is on the radio with his teammates right now saying this is what you guys need to do. Cooper not trying any move going into the roundabout as he's going to try to go for that turn 1 move as, Ashley Beer gets a little bit loose behind them and went a little bit off track, but Jason Cooper up on the charge heading into the very final corner. He's going to get into the draft of Jack Ashton now as all these guys in the top 5 are getting ready to go, and those are just identical lap times by everyone.
I mean, at this point, I kind of like what Cooper's doing. He's putting pressure on, but he's not charging manically trying to get to first position. You're in first position, you're vulnerable from everyone behind you, and then you're going to have 4 drivers, all teammates, all trying to do the exact same thing. There's no way you can defend every single angle from every single corner, so maybe this is the smart play. Just sit behind a little bit, wait until the very last second, and then throw it in as he's doing at the moment.
Cooper applying pressure around the outside. He did try a very dangerous dive to go into turn 1. That might be the best overtaking spot on the track, but if you can overtake it better at different parts of the track, it's better to do that than just prove for one spot. Because the one spot, they're going to try for anything, as we see Ashley Beer going up onto the inside, trying to pressure Jason Cooper, as Jason Cooper has a bit of a run coming outside of turn 5, heading into dangerous 6 and 7. Got to go... Can't really go side by side through here, so Cooper's going to sit behind of Jack Ashton as they go up through these fast S's. Avoid that yellow curb as Jason clips it just a little bit. But this corner right here, this is going to make or break this run. Flat out, and it looks like Ashton has had a bad run out of there, and Cooper's going to have the speed and the pace around the outside to get that corner, but they do have this braking zone right at the end. They're going side by side once more. Jack Ashton has that inside line now.
Yeah, I don't think Cooper's going to be able to make it. I mean, I really want to see how this battle pans out, because he has got to look in both his mirrors and in front of him the whole way through to this race.
Well, it's going to come down to one lap now. So they have 2 corners to go before they restart it for one last time in race 1. Ashton and Cooper, Beard, McNally, and Delmont, your top 5. Who's going to take the victory?
We've only got 1 lap left here, and looking at the rest of the grid, they don't
Here
have...
comes Cooper.
Cooper goes around the outside.
Cooper and Ashton going side by side, a little bit of tap. Cooper, but Ashton's going to send it onto the brakes, and he's going to go a little bit wide, and Cooper's going to sneak it up onto the inside for P1.
Manages to take that in quite a convincing fashion. Well done, Jason Cooper.
Jack Ashton tried everything, including even missing his braking point and just slamming a little bit harder on the brakes, tried to outclass Jason Cooper. But now the Excite train is rolling all night long around the outside for P3, but no, Jason Cooper holds them off as they're heading into turn 5. And it looks like Jamie Ayers has crashed.
Oh no, Jamie Ayers into the wall.
Jamie Ayers was in P6 as let's return to the lead as Ashton and Cooper going side by side. Ashton has taken the lead, but Cooper has the inside line heading to the dangerous 6 and 7. Cooper sends it up onto the inside, gets that line going up onto the curb a little bit, cars up, set it a little bit, and Cooper around the outside into this fast turn 8 now. Ashton's going to have advantage coming out of here. He's going to have the draft and the exit. Ashley Beard's also there. Might see a little bit of bump draft if Ashley can get up to him, but Jason Cooper has that inside line along the rotunda. Don't think they made contact right there, but Cooper leading out Ashton now. 3 corners to go. On board with Jack Ashton, gets into the back of him. He's almost turned him. Ashton, believe he's pushing Cooper off the track now. 2 corners left. 1 corner to go. Can Ashton get this corner directly perfect and get past Jason Cooper?
I think he's got it.
And it's going to be Jason Cooper for Switch Cooper Esports taking the victory. Jack Ashton in second, Ashley Beard in third, Adam McNally and Adam Delmont, your top 5. What a crazy fight for the lead right there. The move into turn 6 providing the excitement, I must say.
Yeah, it was a great move there by Cooper. Placed his car perfectly to where he needed it to be and managed to pull it off and hold it all the way to the end. No easy feat by any means. Looking through the rest of the grid, James McRitchie gained 7 positions, ended up in P6, and Ben Sharp ended up in P7. That was a really respectable drive by him.
Mikey Key up 20 spots, finishing in 21st spot.
Yeah, that was a drive from the real back of the pack there. So it's going to be interesting to see how the reverse grid is going to come into play into the next race.
Yeah, highlights of this race, I must say, obviously that lap track, I'd say lap 1 crash, Carl Hardy flipping up on his roof. Completely caught out by that. Niels Carlson's crash, that was also in there. Just that fight for the lead, though, that was just great.
Yeah, Jason Cooper and Jack Ashton, they had a real good battle there. I'd have liked to have seen Beard, McNally, and Delmont getting more into that, but to be honest, I don't think they really could have. I think that, you know, they were 3/10 back at one point, which is not a lot, but it's just not enough to be able to put the moves on P1, particularly when you've got your teammate battling for P1 right in front of you. You don't want to go making stupid moves from 50 meters back.
Yeah, so big congratulations to Jason Cooper for winning race number 1 out of 4. As we're just waiting for a few cars to cross the line right now. I believe we are waiting on, is it Steve Hansford?
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of the stragglers at the back just waiting off to finish their times at the moment. As we see Steve Hansford taking a quick look at the home finish straight.
He wanted himself on the cameras.
There we go.
There we go. Now we get everybody across the line, and let's bring up your results. Jason Cooper takes the win, followed by Jack Ashton, Ashley Beard, Adam McNally, Adam Delmont, James McRitchie, Ben Sharp, winning the amateur race, Alex Arzny, Nick McCarron, Kip Stevens, Peter Van Gool, Matthew Emery, Luke Cooper, Carl Jacqueline, Steve Hefford, Cesar Rizzo, Stuart Dick, Craig Jones, Ralph Cullingham, Joseph Mitchell, Mikey Key, your biggest mover today, up 20 spots from 41st to 21st, followed by Adrian Hendy, Anthony Downs, Steve Cooley, Scott Malcolm, Charles Kellerman, Tyler Maxson, Phil Regan, Dave Hampson, Rob Graham, Joe McDonald, Martin Sampson, Michael Berry, Jerome Ursum, Andy Maxwell, David Ayers, Jamie Ayers, Niels Carlson, followed by Carl Hardy, Steve Hansford, and Steven Baxter. And now let's bring in Sammy to spin that wheel. Ooh, 35. So unfortunately, Jerome Ursum's bet for the -4 was so close, but it's going to be a 35 reverse grid, and that is going to promote Andy Maxwell to be starting on the front row with Jerome Ursum. So I guess he's happy with that.
Yeah, it's a nice turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't get the -4, but hey, I'm going to start on the front row in P2.
There we go.
There we go. Always positives. Thank you, everybody, for watching race number 1. We'll be back after a short break for race number 2.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear, punch it. Great job, you did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome back to the BSR MX5 Pro Series, race number 2 out of 4. After the wheel spun 35, Andy Maxwell starts on pole, followed by Jerome Ursum in P2. Michael Berry starts off in P3, followed by Martin Sampson. Joe McDonald, Rob Graham, Dave Hansen, our top pro driver, Phil Regan, Tyler Maxson, who I believe will be starting for the pit lane, came in to tell us that, Charles Kellerman, Scott Malcolm, Steve Cooley, Anthony Downs, Adrian Hendy, Mikey Key, Joseph Mitchell, Ralph Colliam, Craig Jones, Stuart Dick, Cesar Rizzo, Steve Hefford, Carl Jacqueline, Luke Cooper, and Matthew Emery, your top 24 drivers. We're going to spin through the rest of the results right now as we're waiting for the race to go green. Lights are coming on. 5 red lights, and away we go for the BSR MX5 Pro Series. A very bad start for Ursum as he just bogged down immediately at the start, and he just dropped down by Martin Sampson and Michael Berry, who just cruised past, and I believe the rest of the field is also going to do that, as Andy Maxwell is going to have a comfortable lead heading into turn 1. As they're going 3 wide already, 4 wide in the background, as that is Dave Hansen up onto the inside, trying to pressure Ursum, as Ursum stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, and he actually collects Dave Hansen, and Hansen, ooh, recover that car, can he do it? Yes, he does, as that is Graham and McDonald also with them right now.
Now, looking back through the grid, our leaders from the last race, Jason Cooper and all that, they're starting down in like 33rd. So they have
big hit car going sideways. That is Peter Van Gool. Anthony Downs. That was Anthony Downs. Peter Van Gool was also involved in there, but he checked up. As they're going 3 wide heading, this is a car bar. We got a car spun around. That is a SimLabs car. Jamie Ayers. Mikey Key as well. Stuart Dick and Stephen Cooley also off. Year 1 cars all around.
And we're still going 2 wide the whole way back through the grid.
Yeah, Ben Sharp has moved up 13 spots. As there's another one around. That's Stuart Dick. Unfortunately fallen down 17 spots, and after that, I believe it's just the people have just been having a tough time. As let's return back up to Charles Kellerman and the battle for P7. And really the lead right now, but the lead's actually being separated. This is really the battle for P5.
So somebody's getting loose a little bit off of there. Didn't get a glimpse to see who that was. Now, interesting point here is that Dave Hampson's up in P4 at the moment. He's leading the pro class. Do you reckon he's going to get a chance to bundle up with some of the M class drivers, try and pull away a little bit so that the likes of Jason Cooper and that don't catch up?
There's a reason why he's in the Pro Series. He's probably going to go for the win and probably start pulling away. We usually see this, especially at Twin River Ortega, when there's a pro and he has abundantly clear pace along the rest of the guys in the back. He's going to start pulling away when he gets into the lead. So expect Hampson to try to pull away from the rest of the field. Because this is one crowded field. The pros still have to crawl through all these amateur class drivers and get to the front of the field to catch up to Hampson. As a little bit of crash at turn 2. Steve Hansford for
yeah, he's
Optical.
dropping down the grid there.
Oh, it's off track. Looks like he got spun mid-corner and a few cars had to avoid him.
Yeah, I'm having a look and it looks like biggest mover at the moment, Adam Delmont in P16 at the moment, up 15 places from when he started.
Adam Delmont make that 16.
round.
That's a Switz Cooper Eastward car pointing the wrong way around.
I think it's
And
Luke
that's
Cooper.
Luke Cooper. Jason Cooper sitting in P30, race 1 winner, up 5 spots.
back
Looking
to
through
the
here as we're
front.
rejoining Steve Defford. Looking like at the moment he's been having a pretty good race so far, up 11 positions. As we see him and Adrian Hendy starting to get up to the back of the AM class drivers that led due to the reverse grid. Now they're going to have to make their way through there and see if they can join Hampson up at the front.
Yeah, he's going to try to crawl up there with Cardi and Rizzo. It's a little pro train right now. Thankfully, this track is very good with drafting, so they can all stay together and they can all gain on the cars in front of them, and it's just who could send it into the corner best and that corner speed as well as, oh my goodness. Hefford goes wide. Hefford down the inside. Hendy, unfortunately, Rock in a hard place right now, getting no drafting help from the car ahead. Well, I just spoke too soon as that result car flings ahead of her. Oh, wow, Hefford.
Very
Cutting the
aggressive.
gap.
Very
Barely
aggressive
cut
door
the gap.
shut in there. Slammed it shut. Now, these guys, I'm not really a fan of what we're doing at the moment. There's a lot of tussling for these positions, but I think Hefford, Hendy, and Rizzo, they really should be sort of packing up together and say, let's cut through these next 7 or 8 cars. Let's get up to the front.
They're trying that. It's just these corners are so high speed. There's no real overtaking opportunity. Turn 1 was the overtaking opportunity, as well as turn 10, which is kind of the overtaking opportunity. If you're Darren, turn 6 and 7 are overtaking opportunities, which is where Hampson and Maxwell are right now as they're battling out for the lead.
Yeah, it looks like they've got a bit of work to do as well. There is quite a large gap at the moment. If you look at Steve Hefford, he is, let me have a look. Steve Hefford, something's gone wrong with him. Steve Hefford's off.
Oh no! Oh no! There was also another crash at 6 and 7. I believe Hefford's gone into the pits right now as our timing street has gone absolutely crazy. As Peter Van Gool's in the wall. As there's a lot of red on our minimap. There's multiple cars off. What has happened? So here's Hansford.
He ended up getting loose and then losing it, so he lost it.
In the wall.
He taps into the wall. Did he reverse back onto the grid at the wrong time?
I think this is just a very early incident that we're seeing.
Potentially, yeah, but having a look through, a lot of cars ended up in a few different random spins that seemed in no way connected. We just saw a lot of drivers just dipping down off of the top leaders here as we rejoin Adrian Hendy, who is now rather lonely with Cesar Rizzo as the only 2 pros in this pack. And I think the interesting thing we're going to see here is, are the AM drivers going to be looking to have something to prove to put some moves on these pro guys?
We see a few times as we see Carl Jacqueline pressuring onto the inside. Oh no! Andy Maxwell and Hampson get side by side, and they bang doors hard as Hampson's going to try to go around the outside now and hold off Maxwell. But you were saying amateurs holding their own against the pros. You just saw that aggressiveness.
I think that Maxwell's trying to prove the point there as he gets a little bit too aggressive into Hampson, and it looks like that's taken Hampson out as he's gone round the way.
Maxwell is out in the gravel as Hampson is turned into Maxwell, giving Maxwell a lot of damage. He's going to have suspension damage right now as I can see that car already crabbing a little bit.
Yeah, that was some definite bit of the old bump and grind there.
Bump and grind, more of the bump and bam.
Bump and shunt. But yeah, it looks like Maxwell is not driving a particularly happy car at the moment. Dave Hampson, currently our race leader as he sits in front of Martin Sampson, who's starting to chase him down. But those two have got quite a nice gap between them and third place. They've got about 1.6 seconds between second and third at the moment.
Yeah, relatively 2 seconds. Now they will have the draft right there, but it's a Hampson and Sampson show up at front as Michael Barry rejoins the track and almost collects another car.
Yeah, Michael Barry, we do tend to see him getting into the mix in these draft tracks. We saw him heavily getting into the mix at Monza. So these types of tracks do seem to suit him, although he is falling down the pack a little bit there. I think he lost quite a few positions after a little bit of bump and run there. And now he's going to have to hold off against Carl Jacqueline.
Yeah, Carl Jacqueline, one of the top amateur drivers of this season right now. And one of the biggest movers, really, as well. Yes, even though he's an AM driver, he's up 13 places from where he started. And look who's behind him. Jack Ashton up 24 places.
Where did Jack Ashton finish last race? Second? More
P2.
P2, yeah. So
As no car spun in the background. That is Delmont.
yeah, that's Delmont facing the wrong way again as he kicks the car around. Might get a little look at that in a moment's time. But looking at the rest of the grid, having a look through, Stephen Baxter up 25 places. This is because these pros are starting to really now cut their way through the amateur class. Sorry, drivers' tires all warmed up now. They're ready for some good hard racing.
Yeah, good hard racing. Also, I wanted to give everyone a championship update. Jason Cooper and Jack Ashton are still fighting for the lead of the championship. They were separated by 2 points heading into this series, and with Jason Cooper taking that first win, he's going to have a big advantage. But Jason Cooper is currently in 13th place, as Jack Ashton is in 9th.
I think that's one of the interesting things that we don't really talk about on the broadcast all that much, is these reverse grids. They can really cause havoc in the championship points.
And Jason Cooper trying to go for P12 right now, up onto the inside of Mitchell, and yes, he gets it.
Yes, Jason Cooper doing some aggressive driving again. Like to see that any day of the week.
Any day of the week, but as soon as Cooper makes one position, Jack Ashton returns up into P8, up 26 positions. And Stephen Baxter also. Stephen Baxter up 26 positions as well.
Yeah, I think they are. I'm having a look through the numbers. Yeah, definitely both tied for biggest movers and shakers this race. As Hampson's still managing to hold on to his lead at the moment. He's
I believe Martin Sampson is just going to try to hold it right there, as Charles Kellerman is sitting in a very prime spot. He's got 2 cars fighting ahead of him. Actually, they touch a little bit. That was Cesar Rizzo getting to the back quarter panel of Jerome Ursum, who started on the front row. And Rizzo up the inside takes P4. As Jack Ashton lines up more cars for him. Can he get Hendy up onto the inside? Does he have the speed through the corner? Yes, he does. That's 27 places.
Definitely,
as Hampson and Sampson are battling with each other at the front.
Yeah, I was going to say Hampson and Sampson have been trading places these past few laps. They've closed the gap quite a lot, and they have pulled out a rather substantial lead of 2.29 seconds on the third place of Rob Graham. So these two guys, with only about 2.5 laps to go, might be looking at our top 2 drivers.
Yeah, we are looking currently at our top 2 drivers, as that was a very tricky braking zone for Sampson, as Hampson broke in the middle of the track and defended from Sampson. And it's the sun show here at Barcelona.
And I mean, what's interesting to see is, like I said, Sampson, he's in the AM class, and he's by no means hasn't run away with the lead so far. He's looking at that timing screen there, 0.59, which in an MX5, to be honest, look at that gap go down throughout the straight. You're starting to see it come down tense, and you see him potentially be able to throw a move into some of the corners later on into the lap if he holds that draft up.
Yeah, definitely. He's just going to try to close down that gap and get as close as he can. I think he's just happy with P2. Maybe try to make something happen in the very last lap.
Yeah, and I mean, and having a look through, the 2 of them are pulling away from P3. Gap's up to 6 seconds now. But Cesar Rizzo and Jack Ashton, they've both been on a bit of a charge this race. So maybe they'll close that gap down.
Yeah, Rizzo up 16 places. While we're away looking at the Hampson and Sampson show, Jack Ashton, 29 places.
Guy just keeps on giving.
Keeps on giving and keeps on charging, as Rizzo stopping up right in front of him. Is he going to get the move up onto the inside? They're pressuring off the track a little bit. Jack Ashton, can he go for P number 30? And P4, as they are going side by side into turn 6 and 7, side by side through there. No one giving up any sort of ground. Rizzo up onto the inside, gets the jump on Jack Ashton right there.
Got him for now, but he's still got to hold him off for about another lap and a half. And that's not an easy feat when the laps are so long here, as we're seeing Jack Ashton starting to put moves on the outside.
Yeah, Ashton, you see some damage on his car, but he's got the speed on Rizzo. Can he hold it around the outside in the rotundra? Yes, he does. 30 positions moved by Jack Ashton.
I mean, he's up into P4 now. I mean, that is really respectable to see Michael Barry going for an off-road excursion.
Well, really not off-road, more like painted track excursion. As what's happened to Michael Barry? As, oh, that's a braking zone.
Did he get into the back of Jamie Ayres there, number 5?
I think Jamie Ayres just was pull cued into that. That might have been Joseph Mitchell pull cueing.
He was the
Ayres.
sandwich. But yeah, so going back with... Yeah, don't. I shouldn't have mentioned food. I'm totally ordering food after this. I do not care.
Same here. As Jason Cooper trying to charge down his rival of Jack Ashton up into P7. Jason Cooper up 28 spots. He's going for that top charger award as Jerome Ursum is right ahead of him with just one lap to go here in Barcelona. Hampson and Sampson leading out the field by roughly 3 seconds.
Yeah, and that gap, I mean, it's not closing down. As much as Ashton and Rizzo are trying to close the gap down, I think they just had a bit too much of a good of a jump start from Hampson.
Jason Cooper up the inside. Can he go for 29? Oh, this is a slow battle. He had the inside line. He's gonna be late on the brakes. And Jason Cooper up 29 spots. I think if he chases down Rizzo, there might be a chance of him getting 30.
I reckon it's doable. I believe. Just having a look at Jamie Ayres taking the outside line through the corner, which will give him the preferred line to the inside. Although, having said that, we've seen a lot of moves around the outside coming into turn 9, I think it is here.
Yes, oh my goodness, that's a double send. Year 1 taking out Year 1 card. I believe that was that might have been what just happened?
I think that was Baxter getting in a little too heavy, and all the doors that he were going for shut immediately.
Were there doors?
I mean, if it was, you know, cracked open.
It was just a beam of light, I guess, as Dave Hampson takes the win with Martin Sampson taking P2. And taking third is Rob Graham. Your top 3, and Jack Ashton up 30 places. Your biggest mover in the field.
It was unfortunate what happened in the end there with Jamie Ayres, and the rest of the drivers got caught up in that little kerfuffle. It just sometimes happens. Sometimes, I mean, it's the last lap. You're going to push, right?
They're sending it, and then they're sending it through the car ahead, as we're going to take a replay of Carl Jacquelet. As they were in this train going to the braking zone, and oh
yeah, I mean that seemed
they just had so much speed going to that corner that there's chaos erupting behind them as well.
I think Baxter just sent far too hard in that one. I don't think you can really blame Carl for that one. He kind of
Carl was defending. Baxter sent it. They both sent it a little bit too late, and that was a unison spinning.
And it's kind of a repeat. Well, not a repeat, but it's a very close mirror to one of the accidents we saw. Because I think with that left-hander, where the Formula 1 track goes now, you've got the tarmac on the left-hand side that all of a sudden becomes a very blocked out bit of curbs. You almost lose you lose traction. 7 to 8 feet of the track. And it just effectively means that you there's room for a gap, and then there's not.
Yeah. Great message by Joe McDonald. I need to highlight this. Did he pay for postage on that?
Hey.
Thank you, Joe. That's fantastic. We're still waiting for Steve Hansford to finish up out of the track, and then we'll be getting to the results.
I mean, he definitely lifted Sam there, right? I mean, come on, like that was the first time I saw it. I thought Jacquelet had forced him inside, because I was looking at the cars that were at the front of the screen, Do you want to take us through the grid, though, to see if the ones that did manage to finish off the race?
You know, I want you to do this because I did the first race. You did the second race.
There we go. So your winner of today's second race, Dave Hampson, coming in for the Sim Labs team in P1 in the number 888 machine, followed by Martin Sampson, Rob Graham following out your podium. 2 AM drivers. Nice to see them on the top spot for the day, or for the race, should I say. Jack Ashton, Cesar Rizzo, Jason Cooper, Jeroen Ursum, and Charles Kellerman, along with Nick McKierran and Jamie Ayres, round out your top 10 with Alex Zerny, Niels Carstensen, Kip Stevens, Carl Hardy, and Tyler Maxon, with Carl Jacquelet, Ben Sharp, and Michael Barry finishing up in 18th place there. Luke Cooper, Adam Delmont, Adrian Hendy, David Ayres, Mikey Key, Stephen Baxter, Scott Malcolm, Ralph Callanan, Anthony Downs, and Andy Maxwell is in number 20, or finishes P28 in the optical machine of number 19. And I think that was a pretty intense race that we had there. I mean, looking at some of the finishing off, even, I mean, if we go down the rest of the grid, we've got James McRitchie, surprising, coming out in 29th there as one of our top pro drivers. Phil Reagan, Stephen Cooley, Adam McNally, Steve Hansford, Joseph Mitchell, Craig Jones, Ashley Beard, Joe McDonald, and then the bottom of the grid will have Matthew Emery, Steve Hefford, Peter Van Gool, who got involved in that little accident earlier on, and Stuart Dick finishes up in P41.
Yeah, it was a great race today. Well, great race 2. And guess what? We're going to have a great race 3. But first, let's decide that grid for race number 3. Freaking Sammy to spin that wheel. Full big boy reverse grid here today, and I believe that's gonna be, who was that gonna put us on pole? Stuart Dick.
So I'll put him on pole, and once again, I mean, at this point I feel a little bit bad. Who came in P4? Oh gosh, why have I forgotten the name? P4, where's it gone?
Jack Ashton.
I've lost it. Jack Ashton. He made an absolute charge last race, gaining 30 positions, and he's going to kind of have to do it all again.
Yes, he definitely will do. Let's see if Jack Ashton can get the biggest mover award for 2 races in a row. We'll have to see. Stay tuned for race number 3.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome back to the BSR MX5 Pro Series. It's time for race number 3, as everyone is grinning up right now. It's Steve Hansford up on pole, followed by Adam McNally, Steve Cooley, Phil Regan, James McRitchie, Andy Maxwell, Anthony Downs, Ralph Goliath, Scott Malcolm, Stephen Baxter, Mikey Key, David Ayers, Adrian Haney, Adam Delmont, Luke Cooper, Michael Berry, Ben Sharp, Carl Jacqueline, Tyler Maxson, Carl Hardy, Kip Stevens, Niels Carlson, Alex Sersney, and Jamie Ayers, your top 24 as the lights are coming on and getting ready to go. We're about to go racing for race number 3 here at Barcelona, and Adam McNally gets an amazing start off the line. He's already jumped up a few inches, and he's side by side with Hansford, and I believe he's going to get the jump off into P1 as there's a lot of dust being kicked up in the backfield.
Yeah, I think a lot of the drivers got a little bit of wheel spin going. It's going to turn 1 now. A bit of action down the pack as we go along, looking through. Good.
Yeah, action in the middle of the pit, in the middle of the field. As there's actually this was the cleanest start I've seen so far today. As there's some small orange bodies, but no car has been turned around yet, to my knowledge.
No, I've seen a couple drivers going wide.
Well, I spoke too soon.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all kicking off. Oh no.
I mean, I hope you accept full responsibility for that.
All hate mail can be sent to anightofficial@gmail.com. I'm sorry. Who was that spun around? That was Peter Van Gool spun around. We saw Stuart Dick also being spun, as there's a spinner as well. That's Stephen Baxter. Oh no, he's involved in that unfortunate sending at the end of race number 2. There's another car off ahead as well. That's is that a Simlabs car in the wall? And that is a very big crab. That is Cesar Rizzo, unfortunately collected in those opening incidents.
I think it was always going to happen on lap 1. You know, you can't really get around it. Things are going to happen. Stuff's going to be there. But what can you really do?
Once again, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I think the drivers will forgive you.
I'm gonna hear a lot of it on Monday, as we have another spinner as well coming outside. That is Michael Berry going very wide, kicking up a lot of dust, Baja style. So he's returning back to the grid. It's a safe track rejoin by Michael Berry. At the end of lap 1, Jason Cooper is up 10 spots. Matthew Emery up 15 spots. Where is Ashton?
I think he's a little bit of the ways down. Don't forget, he's got quite a few positions to make up with that reverse grid that we've got here.
As going 3 wide, Jack Ashton, there he is stuck in between a few guys. As that's Kip Stevens up on his inside. He's going to pass him up onto the inside now as the corners change direction. And as they fight through this corner, I think Kip has the advantage on Ashton on the straight, but Ashton has the advantage going into that corner, and he's going to go up to P19. But, oh no, he goes a little bit wide.
That looks like he might have the run to be able to get back and hold it off, though.
Yeah, he's just taking up some defensive tactics, but Kip Stevens is going to be very aggressive trying to pass Jack Ashton. P2 in race number 1. P4 in race number 2. Currently P20 right now, as Ashton and Stevens are battling all out for P19.
Yeah, we saw him make up quite a few moves, quite a few places. I think altogether he's made something like 40, maybe even 45 places throughout the whole race for overtakes throughout the day as we've been going on here, as we're starting to see some moves going around the outside. 2 wide. Are we going to see Kip Stevens lose out on his position?
He might go for a switchback now. Set himself up, as that's a Switz Cooper Esport car right behind him. That's Luke Cooper being a thorn in Kip's side to prevent that switchback move, as they're all continuing on right now. As
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect the cars to pack up this much. I thought that we'd see a big gaggle of cars. We're seeing 3 wide on the home straight.
you were calling for a gaggle of cars, I present to you a gaggle of cars. We are going 3 wide. Let's make it 4 wide. I think Jamie Ayers is going to try to go for that as they're heading 3 wide into that corner of turn 1. Everyone's being safe about their braking. Jamie Ayers going very wide as they've fallen down a few positions as they're on the back of Adrian Hendy.
Luke Cooper, though, he's had an accident. He's gone way down in the field back in 38th. I think he's had a bit of an issue there as you take a look at the car.
That's on the front straight, too.
He's already crabbing at this point.
Yeah, he's already crabbing. I believe we saw one of his incidents at the start of this race. Crabbing down into turn 1. I think he's just lost on his own. Yes, he has. That's a murder on himself. Into the wall.
Unfortunate for him there.
Oh, he's in the wall again.
Yeah, I think that is a car that doesn't want to be driven anymore.
This car doesn't want to be driven, but he's someone who doesn't want to give up.
That's an interesting combination.
Yeah, we know. Also, there's a car going slow up ahead, but let's go back to the fight for P1. It's James McRitchie in P2 and Adam McNally leading it out for Excite iRacing.
Now, looking at these two drivers as well, last race, we had 1 pro driver in the top 4 and 3 AMs that started to pull away. Are we going to see the same thing here with McRitchie and McNally as we take a look at Alex Zerny taking a little bit of an alternate line through the home straight? I think he has damage.
Yes. Front right. He's turning right to go left. If the car's movie made any sense to you, it will definitely make sense right now as... Oh, he took the alternative line out there. That's the wrong track configuration, so he's letting everyone by. That's a very nice move by Alex Zerny. So, yeah, right turns are not his friend.
Yeah, it's not a great situation to be in there as Alex Cooley just loses a position to Adam Delmont, but he's coming back, I think. Are we going to see Adam? No, we're not. Adam Delmont's got that in the bag.
Yeah, Adam Delmont currently 3rd in the championship right now. A little bit farther down from Ashton and Cooper, but he's still within the championship top 3. Oh, that's a big hit by Nick McKieran.
Yeah, a bit of the old argy-bargy through that. As we can see the Excite car of Jack Ashton trying to take it around the outside. I don't think he's quite going to get the run, and he might even lose out on another.
Yeah, here comes McKieran in the middle. Can he try to squeeze it in through Ashton? Ashton goes around the outside. McKieran's going to follow it on as they're just cruising past that AR car of Asymmetric. As can McKieran get him? Yes, he does.
Nice move there. I like that.
It's a great move. No crazy shenanigans, just great clean racing.
No crazy shenanigans so far, but looking a little bit further up the pack, Tyler Maxson up 15 places as P4.
Ooh, that was so close to being very deadly. McKieran was a little bit loose, and it looks like Anthony Downs almost got into the back end and turned him round. They're so close to each other that they could be bump drafting as Tyler Maxson and Adam Delmont are battling for P3 right now. As Anthony Downs sends it up onto the inside of Kip Stevens.
Might get a little bit of bump and run, but here's Tyler Maxson pushing on to Delmont here. Tyler Maxson's done a great job as he really throws it into the corner. And there we see Maxson taking the outside line, looking like it's going onto the home straight here. Guys going to be battling out all along, but they've got a pack right behind him, ready to wait for any mistakes these two may make.
Yeah, Cooley, Maxwell, and Sharp all behind him. Tyler Maxson goes back behind of Adam Delmont, going to try to get that draft advantage. Delmont defending onto the inside. Tyler Maxson going around to the outside, side by side into turn 1. Who's going to be the last late breakers? Adam Delmont's going to get the advantage in there, but Tyler Maxson might get the better run through off the exit as Delmont's back end's a little bit loose. Oh, that's a year 1 car spun around. That's Stephen Cooley. As we return to the battle for the lead of McNally and McRitchie. They are in their own zone right now. 2 pros skipping away. I wouldn't really say hands in hands because these two are battling out a lot now. So we're going to
But
have a
they've managed to pull
replay.
out a nice lead, though. Look at it. They're just under 5 seconds away from the third position of Tyler Maxson, as James McRitchie seems to be seceding a bit of a position here.
Woo! That was aggressive. That was an aggressive chop.
Well, you kind of got to in this scenario. You want to let him know, hey, that's my line. I'm taking it. You can't do jack
Oh
about
no,
it. as we see Tyler
Max is
Maxson now.
around. Tyler Maxson was around. He was in P3. What's happened? That was turn 6 and 7. And he's just lost it on his own. He got a little help at the end, but
You can't really blame Delmont for that. Like,
oh no, I'm not blaming Delmont. I'm just like, there is nowhere that Delmont could go. That turn 6 and 7 is one of the hardest turns here on the. I think it is the hardest turn because it's an off-camber turn. You're going uphill. It's a sharp fast left-hander coming off the brake. Then you're going off the gas. The back end is the most unstable part of this car, and if you lose it, you lose it. And unfortunately, Tyler Maxson lost it right there.
you know what I'd love to see? A front-wheel drive MX5. Is that just me?
I think that's just you.
Maybe I'm just too addicted to the new Audi.
Call up Audi, just have the power traded MX5 and just swap it. Because these are front engine cars.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be easy as that. But looking at our rear-wheel drive counterpart, should I say, Phil Reagan coming up a little bit on the outside here, manages to hold it off, but maybe not for long.
You're not for long, and falling down the field, that's Downs, as he's just stuck in between this massive pro pack. Scott Malcolm, he's looking pretty nice up in P12.
Yeah, he's a pretty happy bunny up there. We're looking at Matthew Emery at the moment getting right stuck into the mix. He is up 25 positions since the beginning of this race. Current biggest mover and shaker. Brilliant drive by him so far.
Jack Ashton wants his title back.
He's going to, I'm not giving it over that easy, as we see one of the year 1 cars diving it through the inside to hold his position, and the other one keeping it around. So as he turns,
no! Anthony Downs gets turned by a year 1 car. I'm not sure which car that was.
I think it was Adrian Hendy.
Might need a replay from that.
I think it was Adrian Hendy, but it might also have been Tyler Maxson, because Tyler Maxson's sort of down in the middle of the pack in P14 at the moment.
Maxson is the 174 car, the 60 car around the outside. It was 60, and that is Phil Regan.
Oh, okay, so we were both wrong. I'll accept that. But
Well,
that's,
I didn't say who it was.
Shh, we're both wrong. Okay.
No, you're wrong.
Never.
I got the team right.
But
To be fair,
taking a
they're
look-
both on the same team.
Yeah, there we go. Ashton coming up in P8 at the moment, taking a lead of this little gaggle pack that we've got back here. McNally, McRitchie, and Delmont seem to be making happy progress all the way up ahead. But these guys have now got to get through Carl Jacquelet, which is not going to be an easy task.
Yeah, Carl Jacquelet's a bit higher than all these guys are. As Carl Jacquelet is, looks like 2 seconds ahead.
Yes, he'll be the
guys.
next target, right?
Yeah, he's the next target as, oh, thank you. 1.7 seconds ahead of Ashton.
It's quite impressive for one of the AM drivers, as well as Cullen and Sharp. I mean, Sharp, if I remember correctly, was doing the same deal in race 1. Started P8, qualified really well. And he's just had a really good drive so far this weekend.
Yeah, Ralph Collingham and Ben Sharp going side by side into dangerous turn 6 and 7. We saw this go wrong last lap. Is it going to happen again? No, it doesn't, as Ben Sharp is up 13 places, as Jamie Ayers is trying to hold it around the outside of Ralph Collingham.
Yeah, Jamie Ayers, he was a bit quiet in the first 2 races, but he's up into P5 now, coming back with a ferocious Fury. We'll go with bad alliteration there. And almost putting a move in on Sharp.
Yeah, we see Carl Jacquelet fighting with Ralph Collingham. Carl going up onto the inside. That year 1 car with that I gotta applaud that paint scheme. It's just a beautiful paint scheme.
We're quite lucky in this series. We've got quite a few very talented graphic designers doing a lot of paints for these teams here. You know, a lot of the teams that have sort of individual custom paints per car. I mean, the the SimLab cars. They're very good as someone's going off a little bit further back. It looks like Nick McKieran has.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. But battle for the lead. McNally sends it up onto the inside of McRitchie for P1 on
a little bit of
the
contact
last
there.
lap. Once one against RG Bargy right now, and if you're out of Delmont, you're wishing for one thing and one thing only, which I'm not going to say anything as there's a crash.
Yeah.
Jack, oh no, that's Jack Ashton. I believe he has the championship leader currently, but Jason Cooper has just passed him, which will put Cooper back into the lead now. Because 2 points separated them going into this race, as Ashton was up onto the inside as the 42 just gets into him. And, oh, he's got to be furious about that. 2 points separated Ashton and Cooper for the series lead going into this race. Jason Cooper won race 1, Ashton P2. Race 2, Ashton P4, Cooper, I believe it was P8. This race, Cooper is ahead of Ashton once more, and he's in P12.
Yeah, I think with that was a bit unfortunate there as we go back to the leaders, giving a little bit of the old Archie Bargy again as we come towards the end of the last lap.
Archie Bargy tires squealing. Adam McNally up onto the inside. But James McRitchie, his tires are all in pain as he's all over the bumper of McNally. Can McRitchie get the exit that we want? Here comes McRitchie, but it's going to be McNally taking the win.
That was a phenomenal drive from McNally there. He gained, he was in P2, and he just held it. You don't need to do much more than that. As we're seeing Jamie Ayres going all over the rear bumper of Sharp.
Yep, Ben Sharp.
Doesn't quite get to get it.
Ben Sharp gets P4. So we have this little group of cars. Carl Jacqueline, Jason Cooper, and Kip Stevens. And here's Alex Cesnery on Michael Berry. Michael Berry getting a little bit loose, hopping over off the wrong side of the curve. That's going to upset that car. He's almost drifting around that last corner as Cesnery is just closing down on Berry, but it's going to be Michael Berry taking P33 with Cesnery in P34, and Phil Regan's coming across the very final corner right now as Adam McNally is doing a good burning the house down.
Well deserved at this point, right? I mean, that was a really good, solid drive there. Held it from the front and managed to keep the race in the rest of his mirrors, which is what you really kind of need to do.
As I believe we are finished right now, and so let's bring up the results for race number 3. Adam McNally takes the win, followed by James McRitchie, Adam Delmont, Ben Sharp, Jamie Ayres, Ralph Collingham, Matthew Emery, Adrian Hendy, Tyler Maxson, Steve Henford, Carl Jacqueline, Jason Cooper, Kip Stevens, Scott Malcolm, Dave Hampson, Niels Carlson, Andy Maxwell, Ashley Beard in P18. Following behind them in P19 is Jack Ashton, Charles Kellyman, Martin Sampson, Joseph Mitchell, Nick McKieran, Steve Finn Cooley, Steve Hansford, David Ayres, Anthony Downs, Rob Graham in P28. 29th is Stuart Dick, Jerome Ursum, Joe McDonald, Mikey Key, Michael Berry, Alex Cesnery, Phil Regan, Craig Jones, Carl Hardy, Luke Cooper, and P38. Cesaro, Baxter, and Van Gool unfortunately out on lap 1. So after a crazy, exciting, but crazy race at the front and in the midfield, a lot of drama, a lot of things to talk about. I'm pretty sure there are going to be a lot of happy drivers and a lot of unhappy drivers at the end of this one. Well, it's time to bring in Sammy and spin that wheel for race number 4. That's some big giant reverses today.
Yeah, we decided not to keep the grids exactly lined. I'm just having a look through here. Where's my timing for the previous race? I'm hoping it's still stayed up now. I've exited the session.
I believe that's going to be Sarah's knee.
Yeah, the one that I want to look at. Where is it? No, I've lost it anyway. What I was going to take a look at was the Excite drivers that were all getting up in the mix, and I think it was race 2. It'll be interesting to see where they end up in the reverse grid, because they've been making lots of gains throughout the races.
Yeah, after race number 1, where they were all up in the battle for the lead, those Excite drivers, they like to move up in a group, and they're very good at doing that. So we'll see where Excite will happen for race number 4, and pretty much it's going to be Barcelona underneath the lights. And what about that doesn't seem awesome to you? We'll be right back after these short breaks. Stay tuned for race number 4 and the final race here in Barcelona for the BSR MX5 Pro Series.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome back to the BSR MX5 Pro Series. It's under the lights time as it's race number 4. It's nighttime as everyone's getting ready to grid up and get ready to go for one last time here tonight. Alex Esri starts on pole, followed by Michael Berry in P2, Mikey Key, Joe McDonald, Jerome Ursum, Stuart Dick, Rob Graham, Anthony Downs, David Ayers, Steve Hansford, Stephen Cooley, Nick McCurry, Joseph Mitchell, Martin Sampson, Charles Kellyman, Jack Ashton, Ashley Beard, Andy Maxwell, Niels Carlson, Dave Hampson, Scott Malcolm, your top 21 drivers as the lights are coming on. And these guys are going green for one last time here today in Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm having a look through the grid here. We've got a lot of AM drivers heading up our 10. Only 2 pros taken out, Zerny and Dick, as we're heading into T1. The darkest of our races here, but hopefully in as the tires are down, and the tires will be the temperatures are down. The temperatures are down and the grip levels will be up. There we go. Got it out in the end.
There we go. You eventually got it out as, oh no, speaking of getting it out, that's Carl Jacqueline and Kip Stevens going side by side and banging up, bumping and grinding and pushing and everything each other off track as everyone's just moving along. Who's that going slow? Is that Ashley Beard? That is Ashley Beard. And oh no, up onto the inside. That was Cart. Kate. What?
Oh gosh, is that Jamie Ayres off as well?
Yes, that was Jamie Ayres. Baxter was off. 24 of
Stephen
then
Cooley's
Sharp was off. Oh my goodness.
That was a
Carl
bloodbath.
Jacqueline was involved in it. We might need a replay. And
I think Adam McNally's out. Andy Maxwell.
Rob Graham was in there. As that's Joe McDonald turned around. That's Jerome Ursum now taking a little off-track excursion as he goes wide. Race number 4, an absolute bloodbath.
I want to say let's have a replay, but of what? I mean, which part?
Turn 3, I want to say.
The whole
let's
thing.
Check, please.
Drop a red flag out and be like, we're redoing it, boys.
I don't think that would be possible, as these guys are already underway, and they don't stop for anything. As race 4 continues the tradition of just being absolute chaos from start to finish. Well, we certainly started off on a great foot. Let's see if it continues. As Adam Delbach gets turned around, and he gets speared by Charles Kellyman was the obstacle car that hit him. Really nowhere that really Kellyman could go. It was just a massive hit as Sampson up onto the inside is battling with Anthony Downs. He was up there in the top 10, and here comes Sampson now up onto the inside of Downs. Can he hold it up? It looks like he can't do it as Niels Carlson is holding around the outside, but this approach to P3 is going to be very crazy. As oh no, Carlson gets turned. Well, lap 2's had an incident, lap 1's had an incident.
Have we just saved all of the mayhem for the last race?
Well, that's usually what they do.
And looking at the top, I mean, I'm looking at this partly for the pretty colours, but also Cerny Pro, Key Am, Dick Pro, Barry Am, McKieran Pro. You can see it's what drew my attention were the pretty colours. But having a look at that, seeing the mix that we really have between these drivers, it's going to be a real cracking race going on for the remainder.
Yeah, we are set up for an amazing race so far. Tyler Maxton up in the P9, up 17 places in 2 laps. He is the biggest mover so far of this race.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit lucky with some of the incidents from the other drivers, but he put the car in the right place at the right time and managed to capitalise on it, so good on him. Jack Ashton at the moment in P10. He's our leading Excite team driver. As we take a look at Steve Hansford, parking it.
In the wall. He is in the wall. Also, Adrian Hendy is in the grass in AstroTurf area. He's going slow. I think he might be struggling with some issues. Alex Serenade and Mikey Key battling out for the lead. Key up out to the inside, sending it for P1 for Sim Labs.
And Mikey Key doing an amazing job there. We've seen him get right up in the mix over the past few races. And that just shows why. He's put a brilliant move there on Cerny. The two of them have about a 2.7 second gap in between the third place car of Stuart Dick, but they're showing no signs of just passing it around to see what happens.
Yeah, we saw this in race number 2 and 3, where the two leaders just started running away from each other. Well, running away from the field, that is, not each other.
But they're still battling, and this is what I just don't get about the talent of these guys. If this was me, I'd be dropping at least half a second each lap, throwing these battles out there. But these guys seem to manage to maintain the pace and put the moves on in the right locations, as we're taking a look at Michael Barry going outside to inside and making it stick.
I want to say something about your comment. Not that it might just be that these guys are very good at keeping pace while battling, or you're doing something completely wrong. I didn't want to say that, but I said it anyway. It's this track is so thankful for battling on these cars. It's a wide track. You got long straights. You got places where you can just eke out some extra brakes on it. Then you got a car stopped on the back stretch. It is the 25th, the 26th. Ashley Kip Stevens.
Yeah, I think Kip Stevens had an issue. I saw Adrian Hendy. He's parked it in the pits now. He's taking the car home. That
big hit.
Yeah, that was
that front left is messed up. As Tyler Maxon setting up onto the inside on David Ayers. Maxon on the inside. Can he get the speed on David Ayers? Going to get that draft, that extra draft right behind him. Coming now out for that Citroen. Might get a little bump draft. As Jack Ashton is with Tyler Maxon. As they're on David Ayers. They're going 3 wide down the front straight.
And it looks like Ashton's coming out on top.
Well, Maxon is still there. Maxon has the inside, and Tyler Maxon shows up Jack Ashton.
Yeah, I think Jack Ashton got a little bit too wide there. Was probably losing grip towards the edge of the corner. Unfortunate for him there. And now he got some work to do to keep a hold of that position.
Yeah, work is definitely needed, but Tyler Maxon for year 1 racing, making it count.
And it looks like Cooper's getting in the mix as well. Also, side note, Mikey Keith still in the lead. He hasn't given that up yet, so he's doing a pretty good job there. As we're seeing a couple of the top 5 drivers going off track. So I think they're getting a bit squirrely up ahead there. And looks like Cooper's on a charge as well.
Cooper and Ashton, championship rivals, 1 and 2 in the championship right now. Jack Ashton, a few points behind of Cooper. Specifically 2 when they headed into this race. He hasn't won one yet. Cooper won race number 1. He's just not been having the best, didn't have the best race 2. In race 3, Jack Ashton was turned around as Alex Sarasary and Mikey Key are battling out side by side. Key up onto the inside, holding it on Alex for P number 1.
Yeah, Mike's managed to get the position back. Looking at the gap between these guys, they're still holding it about 2.7 seconds. So they're not losing time on the line for this battle. They are managed to keep it between themselves, but looks like Mikey's going super defensive for T1.
We've seen a lot of guys. He's going there because, hey, that's the best place to defend up onto the inside. And it's to break the draft. As Alex Desiree and Mikey having a little bit of drag race. Who's going to be the last late breakers? It's going to be Key slowly up into turn 1. Oh! Almost a bump and run from Sarasny, but they keep it clean with each other.
Yeah, Mikey Key definitely gave him the chop there. Didn't give him much option but to lift off the gas. That is going to be something that certainly is going to be keeping in his mind for the move that he puts on going forward.
Yeah, Sarasny once again tries the outside line on Mikey. Look how he's going wide. He's going to go try for a switchback now and get the speed heading into turn 4. Let's see if it works. No, it doesn't. Mikey Key defended it brilliantly on that 5 out of 8.
And we've got some great battles going back through the rest of the grid as well. The battle for B3 seems to be hotting up as well. Kiki a little bit out of place there. Much place for Alex Zerny to move though, as we move on to Stuart, Dick and Michael McKieran on their battle for P3.
Back to the battle for lead. Saracen around the outside, gets it on Mikey Key. But Mikey is going to have the advantage now going down this back straight. He's going to have the draft. He's going to have the speed. Does he have it in the brakes? Look at those brakes glowing. Oh, that's beautiful.
You definitely have to drop the anchors on these cars to get them to stop. They're pretty light, but those brakes are also pretty small, so you've got to work and go into a bit of overtime work there as you see Mikey Key trying to line himself up for the run. And are we going to see him make a move down to the inside? No, he seems to think better of it. Probably holding it off for the home straight just after the next right-hander.
See the light attack of the brakes from out Saracen. Mikey Key is gaining on him now, and he is locked and loaded down the front straight, and he's going to be shot out into the slipstream. Alex is not defending on the inside.
I think he's basically saying at that point, if you've got the run, you've got the run. If not, I'm going to get the inside line onto left-hander. But Mikey Key made a good move, placed himself well and managed to get in front. But that braking zone seems to have let him slipping back a little bit.
As, oh no, around the inside, Mikey Key went a little bit wide, and here's Saracen battling out with Mikey Key. Side by side they go. Mikey Key almost touched the side of Saracen, and look in the background, McKieran and Dick are closing in on him.
Yeah, they've gained half a second that last lap. The battle between Cerny and Key hotting up, but that does cost a little bit in time. Now, we've only got 2 laps left, so provided they don't make too many major mistakes, they should still be able to hold them off. As we're seeing Cerny go through the inside, through the left-hander here. Mikey Key cutting back to see if he can get the switcheroo. We'll see if he makes it stick here.
Yeah, it looks like he's got his nose right in front of Saracen as they're heading into turn 6. And yes, Mikey Key gets the switchback on, but unfortunately goes a little bit wide, and Saracen was caught out by it. And they both had to check up a little bit, and the light is getting brighter on the track behind as McKieran and Dick are closing in on our leaders.
Yeah, these are the types of battles where they're no longer productive, and Nick McKieran will now be within the draft and getting a heavy straight. We'll probably see him getting involved in the mix soon, and does this mean the end for Mikey Key's top 3 run?
I'm going to say no. He's been holding himself off with this. And just recently, Saracen just started to pull away, and he's just been struggling with his car every now and then. But Saracen, Key, McKieran, Dick, Hampson, and Ashton, your top 6 and in this lead pack.
Well, I think by the end of this straightaway, that pack is probably going to end up being one big gaggle. As we're seeing Dave Hampson move to the inside to try and put a move on to Stuart Dick, sorry.
This is bump drafting. That's Ashton bump drafting Hampson right there.
I mean, it seems to work. I mean, crack on. I mean, these guys have got to really put the moves on if they want to catch up to the top 3. They've only got 2 laps left, and these are pretty long laps, so they've got a decent chance of doing it. But they do have to kind of stop squabbling as there's a little bit of dust being kicked up, taking the most aggressive line they can through here.
Yeah. Looking at Ashton, he's struggling to find moves. This is all for points. That's Tyler Max's. That's him off. He's not going to be happy about that. I don't see any damage on that car, so I think he might have been punted off track and just threw the hands up in the air.
At this point, he's really slow. Has he got to slow down, or is he? I think at this point.
Yeah. Oh, that's an engine. That's a dead engine. That's a dead engine. That's a failure.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling he downshifted a little too early.
Oh, he blew the engine. Oh, that sucks for Tyler.
Yeah. But having said that, I think we've all been there.
Yes. A little bit too much.
A little bit too much. I think that happens to everyone at some point in their iRacing career. As we're taking a look at Alex Cerny at the moment. Still our leader as Nick McKieran puts a move onto Dave Hampson. And they're all up with him. It looks like Mikey Key might be in trouble.
Woo-hee! That's a send by Dave Hampson. He was that was that replay about. We're going back live now for one last time as way off the track goes Mikey Key as Ashton is on the back end of McKieran as we're racing for one last lap, one final time. We're under the lights here at Barcelona.
We've got one lap to make it count. Mikey Key, you can see the pressure's getting to him. It's why he went wide at the line there as we're taking a look at the number 2 machine of Nick McKieran trying to make it work around the outside, and he gets the switchback successfully done there, but he's under pressure from the 888 behind him.
Yeah, Ashton has the inside line, and Ashton's going to get it very nice as the 888 of Hampson is all over the back of McKieran, but they're teammates, so I think they're going to be playing a little bit nice now in turn 5, but Hampson falling down a little bit because here comes Stuart Dick up onto the inside.
Quite make it work at the moment. I mean, looking at this, these guys are all over the and nail for every position as we come to the last lap of the last race of the night. Looks like Stuart Dick's just a little bit too far off to make any moves on Hampson at the moment. He's got the draft of McKieran, and McKieran won't be making his life too difficult. I think they'll be pretty happy to just line up and finish up as they are. Jack Ashton as well, just in front. I think he's a little bit too far away to make a move on Mikey Key.
Oh,
So
that descend by Stuart Dick trying to defend from Cooper. Jason Cooper trying to send it outside. Stuart Dick not having any of it. The championship leader trying to get some extra points right now and chase down his rival of Jack Ashton, who's going to get his 2nd podium if he stays in P3. But it's a 2nd time we're going to see a Switch Cooper Esports car on the top set of the podium tonight, as is Alex Cesare taking the win, followed by Mikey Key and Jack Ashton, your top 3.
I mean, that was, I don't want to take away from the driver Alex Cerny there. He did a really great job. But Mikey Key coming in 2nd place in the AM class. That's definitely a result he can be proud of. Finished his, 7 places above his next competition of Michael Barry.
Oh yeah, Mikey Key dominating amateur class victory here today. Just absolutely, perfect.
Yeah, that was definitely a good race to finish on. I mean, I'm not sure what happened on lap 1. I think I'm going to go back and take a look at everything after the broadcast just to work out where it is. Because I want to say, oh, let's go back and have a replay, but I don't know where or when or who, because so much was happening that you won't get to see it all.
It was like a bowling alley. You saw craziness happen, and then you're trying to say, oh, remember when this pin hit that pin, then that pin. I wanted to see that pin, and we're trying to find out which pin we're talking about right now.
I mean, I think from the pieces that we did manage to see, I think that we ended up seeing an accident with someone with a questionable rejoin that then caused another accident that then had a domino effect of cars being damaged up further down the grid and people were avoiding action. So I think there probably is one domino moment we can trace it back to. But the rest of the race after that, we still had some absolutely blistering racing. Mikey Key not letting Alex Cerny have an easy win. The SimLabs guys making a charge from the back, gaining 15 and 8 positions between Dave Hampson and Nick McKieran, respectively. And Jack Ashton, once again, putting a really solid drive in.
Yeah, I think the points are going to be shaken up this weekend, and we might have a new championship leader. We'll find out after this race as Alex Cesare takes the win in race number 4, followed by Mikey Key, Jack Ashton, Nick McKieran, Dave Hampson, Stuart Dick, Jason Cooper, Matthew Emery, Michael Berry, Steve Hefford, Martin Sampson, Anthony Downs, David Ayers, Carl Hardy, Adam McNally, Peter Van Gool, Scott Malcolm, Stephen Baxter, Ashley Beard, Ralph Gulliam, Niels Carlson, Phil Regan, Andy Maxwell, Kip Stevens, Adam Delmont, Joe McDonald, Charles Kellyman, Joseph Mitchell, James McRitchie, Stephen Cooley, Jerome Ursum, Tyler Max, Cesar Rizzo, Jamie Ayers, Adrian Hendy, Steve Hansford, Luke Cooper, Craig Jones, Carl Jacqueline, and Ben Sharp with Rod Graham, at the very end. We have an interview ready to go with Scott Malcolm. Howdy, Scott. Do you copy?
Copy you loud and clear.
So, how was that last race?
That was just a case of keeping it on the track. That's my philosophy all night.
Keeping it on the track is definitely what you need to do here. There was a lot of chaos in the opening lap. What was your drive through there?
You just got to pick a gap and just, just slow down a wee bit and just go for that wee gap that you find in these chaos at the start. Just take your time, just go for it and just get the calf.
All right, JJ, I believe you do have some questions for Scott.
Yeah, Scott. I mean, looking through that last race in particular, that we solid drive. The first lap manics that we saw as the streamers getting a little bit longer, but you did pick up some contact. Did that affect the rest of the race at all, or were you just sort of keeping it on the track, getting it home?
Nah, that was just wee love taps. That's fine. I just pick a line and just go for it. And then if you get a wee tap like that, it's all right. It's the ones that you get your steering damage and that's you knackered for the rest of the race.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, looking through the rest of the races again, we're seeing on the stream at the moment, the car didn't exactly to bring the car home in P17 for the rest of the race. That was a really solid drive there. Was there anyone that you wanted to give a shout out to at the end of the race?
Nah, nobody. Nah, I want to joke.
No, I guess my praise.
No, one thing I want to say to Mike, a good second place in that last race there. It's been well deserved for him for a long time. All the result, guys. We're going to go for it for the rest of the season, see what happens. I think it's going to be pretty close to the end. And obviously, everybody for organising these races and this championship are used for putting on a pretty good broadcast.
Thank you so much for those kind words, Scott. Glad you had a good day today, and hopefully next week will be even more fun as we head to Brands Hatch.
I always enjoy it here. I always enjoy the racing, no matter what track it is.
We certainly do too. Well, thank you for hopping in with us and providing your insight and giving those few people that shout out. And it certainly means a lot. JJ, you want to head us out?
Yeah, cheers. Thank you very much for joining us in the interview box, Scott. It was great to have a chat with you after the race. Thank you guys for tuning in to the broadcast this week. We'll be back once again next week at 8:15 p.m. GMT. This has been Barcelona. This has been Austin on the commentary with me. I'm JJ. Sam's been on the cams. Thank you very much for joining tonight, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful evening.